You deserve to know. I'm Ibrahim Cheetah.
Rise and shine, Nigeria. Thank you so much for choosing to join us this rainy Monday morning on the TVC Breakfast Show. We're very grateful. You are very welcome. We're broadcasting live from our studios in Echo Atlantic. I'm Olamide Odekunle.
Well, the way you start your morning determines how your day will be. On that note, good morning, Nigeria. Thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you join us every day as we speak about issues concerning our beloved country, Nigeria. I'm Ria Abdul, and welcome to our show.
Good morning. It's Monday morning with blistering rain, coming over all Lagos. Please get a cup of coffee. Join us for our morning analysis. The other show is my name.
Of course. Good morning. And some in their houses, eating hot tamala.
to keep warm.
With this kind of weather. But Ibrahim, really good to have you back.
Thank you so much, Ria.
But I think that on TV, you need to thank Olamide for a fantastic job.
Most definitely.
She held it down for you.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
I was enjoying you guys.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful experience, to stay back in your room, like a couch potato. Watching you guys and enjoying what the audience actually enjoy every single day.
So you did actually watch
I watched all the episodes.
Everything.
All the episodes.
Ibrahim has very big shoes to fill, but I didn't do it alone. You guys made it easy for me.
You did a good job.
She did a fantastic job. So yeah. So maybe you give her some lunch after the show or something.
Yeah.
Plan something.
Okay, that will be on TVC's deal.
All right, it's a very beautiful Monday. Come rain, come shine. We're here to make sure that we give you a show. Once again, a very good morning, Nigeria, and thanks for joining us. There's a lot to talk about on the show as usual. I'll give you a rundown of what we'll be doing this morning. At some point, Ibrahim will bring us all the headlines that have made it to the newspaper. We get to dissect it right here on the show. Later on, we'll be talking about security issues. Very, very important conversation. As a leader in ISIS has been killed, we will talk about it. A guest will join us. And then when we take you all the way to Abuja, we're talking about something very important ahead of 2027 elections. Everything you need to know, party loyalty, politics that's been played, we will talk in Abuja. And then we'll come back to Lagos, where the beautiful Olamide will take us through everything happening in the world of social media and more. So I implore you right now to grab that cup of coffee and let's have a very fantastic show. Now we'll start with the story. Governor of Oyo State, Gov Makinde, has confirmed that 7 teachers were abducted during an attack at Esinle primary and secondary schools in Oriire local government area of the state. Now, Governor Makinde made this known during a press briefing at his residence in Ibadan. The governor also disclosed that the exact number of adopted pupils is still unknown and will be ascertained when school resumes on Monday. Now, this is the conversation that we're going to be having this morning as well. He also said that 6 members of the community that, were suspected as informants to terrorists have also, been caught, which people are looking forward to that as well. He says that they've been arrested. This is a very, very important conversation that we'll be talking about this morning. Now, after what happened in 2014 with the Chibok girls, we saw that this became a pattern, where we see that, people are in school and they don't feel safe in school anymore. Why this is very important is because we're talking about Oyo State. Now, Oyo State is a state that we see as a relatively calm state. So to see this happen in our education, system there, Mr. Shomi, what's your take on this?
Sorry, Mr. Shomi.
Okay.
Sorry, I understand that we have a sort to come up.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What we know right now is that 7 teachers in all are involved, were abducted. I want to appeal that we're doing everything within our power to ensure that this we resolve quickly and we bring our children back safely.
All right, I was so eager to dive deep into this, conversation because this is one that is on the lips of, every Nigerian. Like I was saying, Mr. Shomi, it's become a pattern. We've seen it happen with the Chibok girls. We've seen it happen in other, northern parts of Nigeria where parents have even said, I do not want to take my children to school because I'm scared about what will happen. But I'm happy that people have been arrested. But what is the way forward, knowing that this has gotten to Oyo, a relatively calm place?
No, it's not just about, let me give you what seems to be the latest news emerging from security sources is that the kidnappers have all been surrounded with the hostages. So what there seems to be on now, the security services are trying to see whether they could get the hostages freed while also not allowing the kidnappers to flee. So that seems to be allegedly the reports emerging from certain security agencies on this very matter. So it's a bit complex. We can't talk so much about it until the operation is concluded. That's the good part of it. The other part of it is we also need to realize the fact that we need to do a little bit more to boost security. There are things that are very clear, which we all know. The Senate is on recess. We're hoping the Senate will resume June 2nd. Once they resume, they need to complete the work on the state police and then get it down to all the state houses of assembly, which two-thirds must approve it. So we need to get that done as soon as possible, because that is the only way to stop what happened in Oriire local government. You need those who are on the ground, who knows the terrain, and they are the local people. So state police is the first solution to this problem. The issue of safe schools, we need to go back to issue of safe schools and see to what extent have we implemented, the issue of safe schools, and which areas are covered in Oyo State, or are all the Oyo State schools already implementing safe schools. That's another major thing which we also need to think about. So it's not enough for us to keep condemning, but what is the solution to this problem? We know state police and we know the issue of safe schools are major issues in this matter.
I totally agree with you, but Olamide, if I take you back to 2021, the Kankara schoolboys kidnapping in Katsina, we saw that happen. Also, we saw attacks in Kaduna, Niger, Zamfara, Sokoto. We cannot act oblivious, like, we're not surprised because we've seen this happen. It seems like a pattern. Now, when we talk about, schools being attacked, what it does is that it creates fear among parents, concerns about rural security. We're also talking about the questions whether these armed groups are moving in isolation or they are moving with people that are actually giving them insights on the schools to attack.
They are definitely moving with people, and these terrorism organizations, these networks, they thrive on local intelligence. Governor Makinde himself unfortunately admitted, he said there was a colossal intelligence gap, which means that we need to improve our community surveillance, we need to put the forest guards into place. There are many things we can do on ground, because he said these suspects were informants. They were informing about the terrorists, and they were giving information about the locals who were living there, so they are thriving. But what I would say, add to what you said, Ria, concerning Ogun State being attacked, is that the geography of fear is expanding. When it tells us that insecurity is no longer regionally contained. For so long, we saw in Kaduna State, we saw mass school kidnappings, Boko Haram school raids, in Borno. But to see this Oyo State now being attacked in this way, it tells us that geography of fear is expanding. And what we know about these terrorists, all the information is consistently changing. But these terrorists are very, very smart. There's a reason that they attack schools. They know that they're going to get national visibility. They know that the moment that children and teachers are targeted, everybody turns to them, and that is what they want. But like you said, Mr. Shomi, they've currently been fenced in the perimeter so that they cannot escape to neighboring states like Kwara or anywhere else. And they're watching that place very closely, and we watch and we wait. And
for me, Ibrahim, I'll say shame on anyone that will go to children, helpless children that are just in school to learn, to take those children. And another thing I was reading from this again, some Amotekun, they were actually injured. Then I asked myself, are we really arming this Amotekun well enough for them to fight, when this kind of things happen? Because we also see that some were injured in this kind of raid.
Absolutely. Talking about Amotekun has been doing a very fantastic job, within the southwest region, especially in Ondo, Oyo, and some areas in Osun State. At least they control over 1,000, vehicles. Talk about motorcycles, truck, and all of that. And they work in collaboration with the government. They've been recording lots and lots of gains. In fact, even impounding trucks that are coming from, up north, down south. Where you have a lot of people who do not even know where they're going. So people who and they try to profile them. So Amotekun has been doing very, very well in collaboration with the joint. Collaboration with the police, Nigerian army, etc. So in all of this, shame on the terrorists, as you've said. Anyone who wakes up in the morning to call themselves terrorists, and the next thing they go for soft targets, and they also thrive on publicity. But the problem there is, the more we talk about them, the stronger they become. But we cannot but always talk about them, because that's why we need to always bring to the consciousness of our, the authority to ensure that they bring this to the bare minimum. If you look at the areas where they attack, they go to the vulnerables of vulnerables. From Ogbomosho, from Ibadan to Ogbomosho, is like 2 hours, drive. And from that Ogbomosho to that local government, Oriire local government, and Eshele, that particular place is like 1 hour. In the suburbs, close to Shaki, and from there you go to Kwara. So you see how they've been moving from north down south. So one thing we need to do is not just policing the Nigerian borders, but also police the borders that the areas that actually border other states, the neighboring states, so that we do not have this free movement of terrorists from one state to another, and we can see what they're doing. The next thing they'll start asking for is a fine, ransom. And the governor is saying they will get to know the number of students that have been kidnapped because they're not exactly sure. It said when they resume today, but we know that parents will not even allow some of their students to go to
Ibrahim,
school.
We can go on and on about this, but where we'll leave it is to say that education is the pillar of every country, and we just hope that our children will remain safe when they go to school. We leave this issue for the federal government to look at. We'll keep our fingers crossed, and we'll definitely give you more updates on it. But we will take a breather now, and when we come back, it will be time to dissect all the headlines that have made it to the newspaper